Okay, so we're now at November 1st, 2021. The offseason is about to start. I am about to resign as general manager of the Orioles. Came in, took the worst team in the majors to 90 wins and a wild card game appearance. And at this point, I'm gonna turn it over to the AI, to the computer. It's probably gonna be Mike Elias getting promoted back to GM, I think. And we're gonna see what they can do with the O's over the course of what they can do with the upgraded O's over the course of a season. There's a lot of decisions to be made. A lot of guys in arbitration. Bassett, Fry, Means, Trevino, Armstrong, Severino, Ruiz, Engel, Santander, all for arbitration. Freddie Galvis is a free agent. Chris Bryant, Zach Davies, Trevor Rosenthal, also all free agents. You know, I think this still has the makings of a good pitching staff. The lineup, I think it's still a decent lineup too. Obviously, losing Bryant would hurt. I don't think losing Galvis hurts all that much at this point. And, they're not losing anybody out of rotation except Davies. He ended this season in rotation? Yeah. So Cease, Montes, Bassett, and Gonzalez are all coming back. They still got John Means. And, I think this team is decent. Now, they did, big time overachieve last year, overachieved their run differential. So probably some regression coming there. But maybe, Adley hopefully will take a step forward and be better next year. He's pretty poor in the 43 games that he started. And maybe DL Hall will be on the way. He had a really good season at AA. I don't know if scouting-wise it looks like he's ready, but I imagine he'll be at AAA. Yeah, so I'm going to be interested to see what this team does, but that's where they stand starting the offseason. So I'm going to jump it forward here to, I guess, when let's skip ahead to when free agency and all that opens and see what the O's are looking like as they jump into free agency. Just kidding, I jumped ahead way further than free agency. I'm on February 7th now. And the reason is because I just kept waiting for something interesting to happen. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it another week. Oh, nothing happened. Okay, let's try another 2 weeks. Oh, nothing happened. And so finally, here in February, I decided I would update you on the very few things that did happen with the Orioles. Now, with the rest of the league, there were some cool things that happened, and I'll get into that as well. But for the Orioles, man, like pretty dormant offseason here. Let's go back to October. Maybe November is where we left off. You could see all these contract renewals, nothing unexpected here. Just basically guys who had their contract renewed, automatic renewal contracts. On November 24th, those went through. And, of course, some guys became free agents who weren't expecting to bring back anyways, like Freddie Galvis, Trevor Rosenthal. There was a bunch of arbitration decisions, nothing crazy, I don't think. Although I guess 1 year of Pedro Severino for $5.25 million when you have Adley is kind of nuts to do. But they decided to do that. Nothing else really big. Everything else was like less than 1.8. Oh, Chris Bassett was 6, but that's worth it. So no surprises there with any of that stuff. December, they did make one trade, the O's did. They traded Jake Zabron, who is a pitching prospect, and Matthew Mercedes, who is an infield prospect. And we got Saul Mora from the Red Sox. Solid reliever, I don't really know why. I mean, I guess he's a solid reliever and he's cheap. And he's got more years of team control left. He's got option years. Yeah. So he's got a team option for $3 million next year with a $0 buyout. And I didn't think he's arbitration eligible if they turn that down. We did claim Michael Fulmer in the Rule 5 draft, 28 years old, coming off a season with negative 0.5 WAR and negative 1.3 R WAR, and he was a Rule 5 selection, which is certainly a decision. Miguel Rojas signed to a 4-year, $63.8 million deal that'll kick in next season so he will be 33 this year on opening day. So the following season will be 34. He's on last year's deal this year at 5.5, and then they're bringing him back for 4 years. He's going 18, 15, 8, 15, 8, 14, 2. Not sure that's a deal I would have made if I were running this team still, but it's not my call anymore. So January, nothing happened. Tehran is here apparently. Jose Urena is here apparently. Okay. February, we DFA'd Cole Sulser. Homer Bailey and Corey Oswald are both here. So a bunch of mediocre veteran arms were brought in. And then there we are, February 7th. But I do want to show you some of the rest of the major leagues. You can see Chris Bryant's still out here, but looks like the bidding wars heated up. The Giants, it's interesting, the Cubs, and the Rockies all in there. We're not, or we, I guess. It's not we anymore. The O's, I don't think, are really attached to any rumored free agent. It doesn't appear. I'm not seeing any. Oh, there we go. Matt Barnes. We're in on Matt Barnes. And sorry, I forgot to check what kind of money they have left. Not much. I don't know if that's because they have some other deals out there too. They did increase their ticket prices by 43.8%, but they're also expected to increase their season tickets by 26.4%. So revenue is going to be way up this year, so that's good. That's cool and all. And let me get back here. So let me just show you some of the crazy stuff. The Cubs just went off this offseason. So the Cubs signed Nolan Arenado to a 7-year, $227 million deal. And actually, I hadn't even seen this one yet. 6 years, $121 million to Robbie Ray. Bauer went to the Mets for 6 years. Stroman to the Twins. Scherzer to the Dodgers, 2 years, $33.2 million. Michael Conforto to the Angels, 4 years, $101 million. And then the Cubs back at it, Carlos Correa, 6 years, $141 million. So they signed basically a new left side of their infield with Correa at short and then Arenado at third. Gossman to the Twins. Let's see, what are there other big deals here? Here's Simmons went to the A's, 5 years, $86 million. Definitely Oakland would have done that, eh? Greinke went to the Cardinals. Paxton to the Twins. Bradley to the Phillies. Iglesias, 6 years, $103 million to Miami. Jorge Soler also to the Cubs, 7 years, $122 million for Jorge Soler. The Cubs just spending crazy money, and they're still attached to Chris Bryant too. Then they signed Alex Wood. Baez went to the Astros for 5 years, $59 million. So just a lot of Cubs signings, basically. Cubs. They signed Chafin and Givens for their bullpen. Darno signed with the Cardinals for 5 years, $79 million. But yeah, the Cubs offseason was just nuts, and they're still apparently out there making moves. I don't know what their team looks like now. Who's this guy? Oscar Colas. Minor league free agent signing. Oh, he came in as an international free agent, and they signed him, and he's apparently... Did he play for him yet? No, he played in the minors, but he's pretty good. All right, anyways, but then they got Soler, they got Arenado, they got Correa, Ian Happ's still there. I don't know what their pitching looks like. Robbie Ray, and then Alex Wood, and then Dean Kramer. How'd they get him? Trade with Oh, I traded him. How'd they get him? I traded him in the Chris Bryant trade. Right. And he's their number 3 starter. Wow. Yeah, and he was good for me. He was having a good season. He's good for them. And, I remember at the time knowing that trade was a win-now move for sure. But it was a trade we had to make. And so what's their money look like? Jeez, they still have this much money left. Wow. The Hayward contract will come off eventually. Wilson Contreras, they might have to re-sign. Who knows if they will. But anyways, yeah, the Cubs just out here dropping crazy money on Arenado, Correa, Ray, Soler. Just an insane amount of money. So that's where the O's are at. Pretty uninteresting offseason. You can see, we brought in one player, and we lost the guys we were expected to lose. And that's kind of where it's at. So hopefully business will pick up a little bit between now and the season, although, there's not much money to make that happen. But I think it's a decent team. that will probably struggle offensively. And we'll see how this pitching staff can do. Baltimore's never a fun place to pitch, but we'll see how that can do too. So I'll jump ahead here a little bit. Not sure to where. Won't make any promises about where I'm going to head to yet. We'll see how interesting things get and how quickly they do or don't get interesting. Okay, so we're at opening day 2022. The O's predicted for 64 wins. Is that worst in the majors? No. Second worst to the Rockies, 63. Fantastic. So to start, I'll take you to their transaction log. There wasn't a lot that happened, but there's at least a little bit that happened. So we signed Aaron Brooks to a 3-year, $21 million deal. Brooks has pitched the last 2 years in the KBO. Let's go to all levels. And was very good in the KBO. Then came over at 31 and netted himself a 3-year, $21 million deal with the Baltimore Orioles. He's going to slot in as our number 5 starter. We've got a decent rotation, I think. And then let's see. I don't think that might be pretty much all they did. I mean, Mountcastle's on the IL. Yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. I mean, some guys got DFA'd, optioned, etc. But here's a team. I don't think any big surprises here. Obviously, Mountcastle on the IL instead of at first base, but Rutschman, France, Fletcher, Ruiz, it's a disappointment that they're going to roll out with him again. I thought maybe they would bring in somebody else, but no. Miguel Rojas will be solid, hopefully, for another season and before his 4-year deal kicks in. Hayes, Mullen, Santander across the outfield, and Stewart. This is like still a current Orioles thing going on here, and Ryan McKenna still the backup. Brantley will be back. Mountcastle will be back. They'll both be back really soon. And let's get over to the pitching, where we've got Bassett, Gonzalez, Cease, Montes, and Brooks. Tanner Scott will be the closer. We got a bullpen that looks pretty similar to last year, but Fulmer, Salamora, Urena are here. Dylan Tate made the team. Graveman and Zimmerman were both around last year. I mean, I'm surprised that the team is predicted to be as bad as they are. I mean, certainly this looks pretty rough here. Hopefully Rutschman can have a breakout year. I'm surprised that Dylan Cease is only the 19th best starting pitcher in the majors, or 19th best number 1 starter. He's a pretty good pitcher. But yeah, nobody really is giving us a shot this year again. So hopefully we can prove the haters wrong, prove the nerds and the projection system wrong, and come out swinging again. I know I'm talking like it's my team because I'm still vested. Still invested in this team. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll sim half the season and we'll see where we're at right before the trade deadline to see how Mike Elias is doing running the team that I turned into a playoff team. And now I don't think they're going to be as good this year, guys. I just don't. But we'll see in a minute. All right, this is a much more Orioles-like season here. 45-56. We're at the trade deadline, July 31st. 15 games out of first place and 11 games out of the wild card, with approximately 7,000 teams between us and the second wild card. So not looking good. Not looking good for your Orioles. Run differential is negative 57, so they're right at their Pythagorean of 45 and 56. They're actually 15-12 against lefties. So we seem to face lefties every day and we'll be all right. Oh boy, what's going on here? So Austin, let's go by WRC plus actually. Tyler Nevin is not playing much, but is hitting when he has in his 43 plate appearances. Trey Mancini claimed off waivers from Pittsburgh about 2 weeks ago. He's played in 10 games. He's hitting quite well this season, but brought back into the fold for some reason at 30 years of age for a 4th place team. David Fletcher's having a nice season. Mountcastle's okay. Hayes is doing fine. After that, not much going on. Adley Rutschman, a 58 WRC plus through 61 games. Santander, a 54 WRC plus. Ty France, an 85. Rojas, a 61. Just not a lot going on there. Pitching side of things, you know, your WAR leader is Marco Gonzalez with 1.2 WAR. ERA plus. Tanner Scott is having a very good season in the bullpen, as is Dylan Tate. Zimmerman has only pitched 48 innings, but, you know, a lot of guys below average here. Tyler Anderson has made his way onto this club somehow, minor league free agent signing, as has Kyle Hendricks, minor league free agent signing. Okay. Neither pitch well. Aaron Brooks is in the pen already with a 5.58 ERA and a 4.36 FIP. And yeah, so that trade's not working out too well already. Hendricks in the rotation with Zimmerman. I mean, this team's just kind of a mess. Runs scored were 12th. Runs allowed were 8th. And you can see May was just very bad. Other than that, it's not been terrible, but May was just really bad. And it's the trade deadline is July 31st, and they haven't really made any trades. Like, they made 2 minor trades. They traded a minor league pitcher, Paul Fry, for 2 minor leaguers. They traded a minor league third baseman who was 31 for 2 minor leaguers. And other than that, have not made any trades. Like, they've just kept everybody. I don't really understand that. I don't know why they wouldn't have tried to get rid of, I don't know, some of what's going on here, because they've got a lot of older players and they're clearly bad this year, and they're locked into some bad deals now. The Brooks deal, the Rojas deals are terrible. Severino is due $8.4 million next year and is just like their backup catcher, and they have him around still. I mean, Adam Engel, they decided to bring back in arbitration, and then he's just been in Norfolk all year making $1.8 million. So this is not how I would have run the club. Heck no. We'd be a first place team, and or we would have unloaded everybody. So it's the trade deadline. Let's go ahead and just go for today and make sure they don't make any more moves. I'm sure they won't. Do they? Can you even? I don't think teams can. No, because it clicked over to the 31st already, right? I guess when you're simming, like any trade made on the 31st happens when you click to the 31st before you go to August 1st, which we're now on. And yeah, I mean, nothing else happened. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. So rest of the majors, you got the Red Sox, Cleveland, Angels, the Mets, Cincinnati, the Dodgers of Los Angeles leading the way. The Padres are really good. Are Manny and Tatis just lighting the world on fire again? We're on the wrong thing there. Tatis has 6.1 WAR through 101 games, and Manny's at 3.8. Manny's on pace for 6.1 WAR. Tatis is on pace for 9.8. Good Lord. So I think I'll just go ahead to the end of the season here. Don't expect much interesting to happen for the Orioles. I wish they at least made some deals. But let's go ahead and see where they end up to end the season. All right, so that's the season. 71-90 for the Orioles. They had a run differential of negative 100. We won one more game than that run differential suggests we would have won. So the Cubs, that big offseason they had, they won as many games as us. Some bunch of people getting fired in Chicago. So let's see what's going on here with the Cubs. Wow. So the 3 guys I spent big money on were great. 5.6 WAR from Arenado, 5.1 from Correa, and 4.5 from Soler. Pitching wise, what happened here? Well, Robbie Ray was really good. Alex Wood was decent. Chafin was good out of the bullpen, and then after that, it just kind of went downhill. Yeah, not. So why were they this bad? Runs scored, they were 7th. Runs allowed, they were 12th. They were 14th in bullpen ERA. Their fielding was bad, 9th in efficiency, 11th in BABIP. Man, that's that's a little disappointing there with all the money they spent. I'm surprised they were that bad. I'm going back to see, where were they at Pythagorean? They were -4, so they had 75 in the Pythagorean win. But even they had won 75 games. That's still a letdown. For the O's, nothing really happened. Your WAR leader was David Fletcher with 2.7. Austin Hayes might have topped that. 2.2. But he tore his PCL. Pitching, you can see that excuse me, Frankie Montas led the way with 1.4 WAR. Our WAR, you had Tanner Scott at 3.5 in just 57 innings. That's great. And then the next guy's 1.9, Dylan Cease. Just not good enough here. Fielding wasn't as good. Pitching wasn't as good. This team just was very meh. Adley Rutschman ended up with a 80 WRC plus in 413 games. So that is clearly all I've got in me tonight. I've recorded a bunch of these tonight, a bunch of the O's stuff. But thanks for watching. This is a fun little series. And talk to you in the next one.